bringing you inside the USL Championship and League One.
Segmer's got there, Marquinhos! He's been knocking on the door! He knocks it down!
Diving into all the biggest stories and top headlines.
You are ripping and roaring today.
This is USL All Access.
It's almost impossible to recreate that level of magic.
With Mike Watts and Devon Kerr on Sirius XM FC.
Welcome, everyone. It's a new edition of USL All Access on this Tuesday evening. We are headed toward the conference finals. We've got recaps of the 4 games last weekend, of which they all either went the distance or had a very late goal that ultimately seals 3 of 4 going to their first ever conference final, and a repeat conference finalist that many would say we didn't give proper respect to early enough. We're going to talk about it all. It's a busy week in terms of on-field stuff. Thankfully, Devin, not that busy a week off-field. Our appreciation to Joe Malfa for stepping in again last week. Mike Watts, Devon Kerr. I feel like I missed so much.
I feel violated. Last week was, coming onto the show, you were like, man, I feel like we're missing something. Or was it really everything last week? Wow, look at that. I apologize. That's a big no-no for everybody at home, especially when it's a cold call from the cleaning experts.
Oh, jeez.
I know. I Sirius XMFC listeners, that's my bad. YouTube, you just saw it. I'm so sorry. It's the first time ever. We're setting history all over here in the USL Championship.
Wow.
There was so much news last week. I let in and said, you can't bury the lead, right? Because there were upsets galore. There was the North Carolina news. We had firings. I teased possible hirings, and then I didn't get to them because there wasn't enough time. We did have a hiring, Jacksonville, after we went off air, so that was good. We can cover that this week. But, yeah, you were missed, as always. Most importantly, sir, did you successfully walk the cat?
Yeah, cat's fine. Cat's been better, but cat's fine. Yeah, I feel like the world didn't need my commentary on this, but
Always
I guess Skulls, hell of a hire. That's impressive. North Carolina FC, we're going to get to in a minute. What are you doing? I mean, you're just going to collapse the whole thing and then start over in a higher division? I don't think so. There's a lot to figure out there. What else did I miss? I mean, look, obviously there's now so many Liams in Jacksonville. I don't know if they've got enough ill-fitting suits for all of them. Well, it's just the Jags coach, Duval.
Yeah,
Liam Fox named the Sporting Club Jacksonville head coach.
Yeah, I have thoughts. I'm not
Do
saying
you?
no. I do.
Already?
Do we want to go right into it? Do we want to?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. It's not like we're here to talk about the show or do anything other than that. It's not like there were games on the weekend or that.
We'll get there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we will. Okay. Here's the thing about Liam Fox. Good news, by the way, is that Sporting Jacks has hired someone, okay? Expected to enter USL Championship play in 2026. I have been assured by many a person behind the scenes that they are, in fact, on pace to do so.
Devin,
Yeah.
vital to say, we say 2026 like it's some far-off date. Dude, they start in 5 months. They're starting in 5 months.
I would actually make the argument that they're starting in 2 months in terms of preseason camp, but sure.
Yeah, and in terms of building a roster, they better start right now.
Yeah, and I haven't heard much behind the scenes, which is, number one, going to be part of my concern with this hire. Not to say that they haven't hired or haven't gone out and signed players yet. Just haven't heard, so especially big names, of anyone that has come to mind. So much so that a friend of the show, I have to be very careful here how I phrase this, a friend of the show, I'm not going to give it away, so I'm going to name a higher number here, top 50 player all time in USL Championship history, and I were having a chat, and this team was in conversation with, I'm being so careful here, was in conversation with their agent, and their agent said, would you be interested in this person? And they said, who's that? Now, I'm going to tell you.
Did I get the name right in the chat?
Let me go to the chat. Please hold. Oh, you're so spot on.
Yeah. It was too obvious, Devin. If I figured it out, someone somewhere knows.
Dude, for you to not know who this person is, you got to be kidding me. So my concern
certainly have been listening to this show.
Yeah, my concern is the knowledge of the league, as it always is, right? Robbie Nielsen, when he came into the Rowdies, there was some splinters in the group already because of the departure of Lee Cohen, some movement in the front office. And so that we are clear, that is not saying that the people in those positions are not capable. That is saying that it was a different routine from a previous regime. And when the head coach comes in and doesn't know the players and doesn't know the league and doesn't know the staff, that's very difficult. Now, the hope is that the front office, which I have no clue whether they are or not, is fully understanding of the environment that they are about to inject themselves into. Fans, great. Stadium, yes. Culture, I'm all about it. Still got to win games. Still got to put people in those seats, and results always do that. And the background of Liam Fox, this has nothing to do with him as a coach, a player, or a person, is so similar to Robbie Nielsen from the Rowdies. Has nothing to do with personality. His pedigree as a player, his coaching history. I mean, they miss each other in certain stops by 3 to 6 months. They did coach in the same location. Him as Fox as a B or a assistant coach next to Nielsen. So it's really interesting just to see the different paths, hoping that, in fact, they are going to be successful. We've also seen this story told many a time before, Mike, where teams have ventured down this route and it didn't work out well.
Yeah, one thing I will say is from an operational standpoint, the club already exists. And that is one thing I'm going to say with the women's side playing in Super League. There is an operational structure that exists already. It's not – they're going to play at UNF, so that's already set up.
Fully disagree with you. I'm sorry. I love you to death. I fully disagree with you. It's two different sports. It's two different landscapes.
I'm not talking about finding players. I'm talking about knowing where you're playing and going about running a game day and travel and how to handle that stuff, which
sure. RGD ran a game day.
If you don't have a club in existence, I'm as worried about that and how you treat players when they actually get there as I am about actually acquiring players to launch.
Just because
I'm with you
doesn't mean you're successful.
No, I'm not saying that's going to mean they're successful. I mean they're capable of launching. I'm not saying they're going to be successful when they do it.
No, yeah.
I'm saying having a basic infrastructure for a team that starts in 4.5 months on the field and in preseason a month and a half, you've already got a preseason location and a stadium. And we've had some teams 5 months out where we're like, where are they playing?
We've had teams 4 years in that we were saying, where are they playing?
Accurate. So it's like –
and training.
Rhode Island, right, had a gorgeous stadium planned, and they were ready to build it.
That's different. I mean, I look, since we're going to call a spade here, I'll go back to the Richie Ryan debacle with El Paso Locomotive, right?
Yes.
Like training at a high school, the way you treated your players, that was my argument. When I meant success, I didn't mean success on the field. I apologize for the way I stated it when I followed up. I meant it as in the sense of just because operationally you've done things doesn't mean you've successfully done them. Setting up travel for players, setting up meals for players. You and I both know that the standard in general in USL in certain areas, wink, wink, things behind the scenes, still needs to get better in other spots. So even though they have experience on the women's side, I don't know enough, maybe you do, about their operations on that side to comment as to their workings behind the scenes.
The CBAs are very similar. So from a standard standpoint, that's all I'm trying to suggest. From a player standpoint, you're basically trying to do what Las Vegas did 2 years ago. And Vegas hit on 9 out of every 10 rolls of the dice they took.
Yeah, and Dennis Sanchez
it was
been
great.
Around the league and had an understanding at the academy as an assistant for a decade.
Right. So
I
you
love
you
it when we
got
disagree and then we come back around and we're aligned. It's like we never missed a beat and we never owned a cat together. We're just two humans getting along.
yeah, that's right. Dev, couple other headlines. We're going to
Do you
talk about
think
the
anybody
games.
figures out who that was, by the way?
I guarantee. Put it in the YouTube comments down there. I guarantee there are people. As soon as you said friend of the show, you launch this thing into the
To be
sun.
fair, we have a lot of friends of the show.
Well, I mean, we think we do.
Uh, I'll put it this way. They keep answering my texts.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's accurate.
Maybe
Dev,
not by choice.
I swear I'm going to get to this next headline.
Go.
Damian Loss,
Yeah.
Golden Glove goalkeeper, could very easily be named goalkeeper of the year. We're going to wait and see how the balloting goes. One of the finalists, I'm sure, tweeted on X, 2 unforgettable years. Thank you to everyone at Louisville City FC. He's been on loan from Austin. He's in one of those 1+1+1+1+1 kind of deals.
Roll it over.
Right. So who knows what that means next? Hopefully for him, after what he's done over the last 2 years, there's a place for him in the first team in Austin consistently. If not, who knows? And, if his option were declined, he could land anywhere. Anyone would want him. But there's sort of one of the first dominoes to fall in Louisville potentially.
Do you think there's more?
There's always going to be some change.
I've heard
As good as you were, you also didn't accomplish the job.
Not me.
At the end. Yeah. Yeah. So
agreed. Yeah. But to be fair, it's just what they've built. It's hard to imagine that there's going to be so much turnover, but there is a possibility. I do want to go back to Loss for a second. I do wonder for Damian what his next step is going to be. Brad Stuver had a heck of a year, man, in Austin. Man, he was good for Nico Estevez. And I don't know what the next step is going to be for him, meaning contractually, if they're going to make a move and he gets paid somewhere else. I mean, from a budget standpoint, Austin's not winning any arguments in MLS. So it would be understandable for them to let him fly, and then Damian could step in and be one of those guys easy enough, right?
in theory.
In theory. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I've heard rumblings there might be some turnover in Louisville.
I mean, look, on average, they bring back like 17 or 18 guys.
Well, they were the team that set the standard for that coming in. What was it, 20? I remember every single year you and I would talk about at the beginning of the year, Mike, where it was like, oh, they kept 12, they kept 15, they kept 18, they kept 20.
When a lot of teams were keeping 8, 10 at best.
At best, yeah, I'm with you. We used to see so much turnover. I mean, the ability to maintain a group is obviously so important, but because of the transactional nature of the league, the finances that players were chasing from year to year, it was almost necessary at the time. We're not there anymore, but it does make you wonder for the goalkeeping position for Louisville. I mean, Danny Cruz has been very clear the entire time, both behind the scenes and publicly, that they had multiple targets lined up if they didn't get Damian, but he was the number one option. And also, Danny Fondes has done quality things for them for years on end. In a pinch, in a change in a game from a starting position, and surely the run to the 22 final that was unreal, by the way.
Yeah.
Unreal. So, a lot to
you
go
just
there.
Run it back there. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, they're so good, man. I mean, it didn't work out in the postseason, but they're so good. Like,
yeah. You do the math out, and you just start looking at how many guys are on multi-year deals. They're going to bring back 16, 17, 18.
Watch, true or false, if we put you in goal for Louisville, you could get one shutout.
No, that's true, because there has been a 0 shot on target game. Oh, one. Maybe. One.
2.
Maybe. You can put a mailbox in and get 1 clean sheet.
Then go get some Joe Ellis with some coleslaw?
Yeah. And if you're Scott Sterling, I mean, you could get a dozen. Elsewhere, World Cup qualifying call-ups. Kimi Ordonez was really brought into Charleston, along with Rubio Rabin, as a means to an end for both of them to get into Guatemala. That was like the thing that sort of drove them to everyone was on the same page. They're going to help Charleston. They're going to help their stock in terms of trying to get into World Cup qualifying with Guatemala having been out of contract. Both of them called in, critical game for them. Duke Lacroix, Gavin Methuselah, Carl St. Wubens Pashis all going into Haiti. Jamali Wake going to Jamaica. 3 League One players called in for Trinidad and Tobago. I think the Brits call this squeaky bum time in World Cup qualifying.
Yeah, tighten it up there. Tighten up, getting a little bit nervous, and Fergie time as well when you're getting to the end of it and you're not as nervous and you just know you got something to win. Kimi Ordonez, by the way, interesting player that I'm looking at come the offseason, Mike, where he ends up. And the reason I say that is for a player that was so highly touted of the Cincinnati organization, lit it up in MLS Next Pro, had to leave the country for Ryan Martin to go, this dude could make it. The 4 goals, and I know he had 4 goals in 10 appearances on the year, thought he played really well, gave them a spark on the front line. I would be interested in him as a player to go and get him if I was a coach right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
of
that
course.
because of the reason I'm saying that isn't just a random comment. It's because of all the noise that has been Loudon and the fact that he's probably a little bit loose in terms of the ability to move and go get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Ryan told me there was a connection to the assistant at the Guatemalan national team, if memory serves, that led to him getting there, right? So, again, in Kimi and Rubio's case, both sort of landing in the right place to get them to this point. I think both of them are going to have suitors, whether it's current club or going elsewhere. I think specifically with Kimi, I'd be surprised if he doesn't consider another option, especially if Ryan Martin does, in fact. I mean, I can read, too.
Arguable.
You know, yeah, well. Meanwhile, League One, congratulations to One Knox, undefeated at home, and they're going to host the final against Spokane. Look forward to watching on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. It's on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. For Knoxville, it would be a chance to win the double. As mentioned, they won and drew in the regular season against Spokane. And while we're at it, Rick Wright is headed into retirement, the Greenville head coach. Obviously not the season that Triumph were looking for. 5 years an assistant with John Harkes, and then 2 as the head coach for Greenville. Wishing him all the best as he moves forward into retirement. So when we come back, for all the upsets we had, only 1 in the second round of the playoffs. And it should surprise nobody that they did it again. Why Rhode Island is back in their second conference final in as many years when we come back.
Let's get back to USL All Access on Sirius XM FC with Mike Watts and Devon Kerr.
Welcome back, everybody. USL All Access on this Tuesday evening. Miss any part of the show, it's available tomorrow on the USL YouTube page. Devin and I contemplated many, many guests, including the great Carrot Top was unavailable. Dev, do you have anything on your shelf that you'd like to show off as a prop, Mr. Comic Boy?
Oh, my dude. My man. The prodigal son himself, Danny Vitiello. Oh,
Okay.
Game's over. Season's over. The journey not complete. Also, if you ever want to see a cool little story, 12 Pentacons designed by John Paul's Balls. No comment needed, Michael. Actually became a little bit popular after COVID. You're trying to get yourself into it. This is the first release he ever did. It's one of 1,000 in the world. It's been included in a wide variety of photo situations with FIFA Legends and World Cup promos and things of that nature. I don't say it as a brag. I say it as I don't buy myself anything. I'm cheap. I want, good food.
I paid for nothing on these shelves.
Yeah,
nothing.
Same. Good food, fun and with family and friends. But I really wanted this just because I bought it, I think it was 2 years ago now when the first one came out. I really wanted it. I'd done some things professionally that I was very proud of for myself, so I bought it. It's the most expensive soccer ball I've ever owned. I'm never going to play with it, but it's a really cool website to go check out on Instagram. Again, John Paul's Balls, 12 Pentagons. Don't worry about the promo. I don't need the forward financially. And that's what we're going through today. Also, a big fan of the bobbleheads. Let's keep going.
Hashtag not an ad. Let's talk about the East here, Dev. Conference semifinal round this past weekend. Let's start with the upset. Rhode Island over North Carolina, 2-0. Albert Dequa opens scoring in the 81st with a header, scores again at 90+3. It is dastardly that Rhode Island at this stage in the year is able to bring Maxi Rodriguez, Albert Dequa, and Grant Stoneman in off the bench to either see out a game or try and provide a bit of pop, respectively. Best chance for North Carolina came around the half-hour mark. Olex Anderson knocks one off the bar. Dev, your stat, 215 games in the regular and postseason, 59 goals in USL comps for Albert Dequa. Only 3 of them in the postseason. They've all been in the last 2 years, including 2 over the weekend. At the same time, it is the final game for North Carolina as we know it. 2,300 fans, that's it, the official attendance. Upset with a chance to host a conference final. I mean, that's where they were at. If they had won the game, they were going to host Pittsburgh or Detroit. Didn't really get a chance to talk about North Carolina last week because, obviously, I was walking the cat. John Bradford did an amazing job, and there were a lot of guys that did the whole League One to championship jump after winning the league. And to finish third, to outperform expectation the way they did, external expectation. I think internally they believe they had a unit that could accomplish what they did. It's disappointing on 100 levels. And the Railhawk lore, the Galaxy upset, Open Cup glory, NASL era spending, it's pretty shocking to see them go. But they also don't own the stadium. And I've heard a lot about what goes into playing in Cary, North Carolina. Heard a lot from all aspects of that organization. So, all right, thoughts on the game. Rhode Island, moving on.
I would start with the ode to North Carolina. I thought you knocked it out of park with John Bradford. You and I had an opportunity, have had the opportunity multiple times at the national level to see this team in action. The first time we did this year, I became the most aggressive in the belief in what he was doing there at the championship level. I'm going to keep the professional and tactical side separated from that ridiculousness going on off the field. And the reason I say that is I managed to speak my mind last week and not get fired. So I'm not going to test the water.
You did the job. Congrats.
For a second week in a row. But I also, more importantly, I want to be respectful to all of those players and the coaching staff that had a very difficult season, that tactically towards the end made them change out of their wingback system because of the lack of depth and all the injuries compiled. And I get it. A lot of teams have had injuries. I understand that. But you change your system. You found more momentum. Within that momentum, it was a belief defensively that you could once again be successful. They were still extremely organized, but they always lacked a bite in either system in the final third. Once again against Rhode Island, that's exactly what happened. Defended well, have no issues with the way that they defended. Would argue in portions of the game that they were the more aggressive team. I would say that for most all of the games that we've seen in USL Championship playoffs, the attacks have been terrible. Like, they've been ugly games to watch. And we'll get to that in a second. But they still had moments, Mike. And I wanted North Carolina in this game to be more aggressive. Bypass that first line of 3 from Rhode Island and really challenge the width and the central midfield of this team that is very physically demanding from Conno Smith. They cover a lot of ground, and they just didn't do that consistently enough. For Rhode Island, I wanted them to be more aggressive. They did well holding the ball. they've become cleaner towards the end of the season. Again, if you get into a physical confrontation with them, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose. North Carolina held their own. I wanted the game to be more aggressive within that front grouping. And for a couple of games in a row, we just haven't seen it. But they found a way again. Again, you mentioned coming into the show that, I don't know if you said against its disbelievers or whatever it was. Like, I still go back to it. They used it as motivation as well in their, I think it was one of their releases on X, Twitter, whatever the kids call it these days, talking about belief. It doesn't matter, Mike, because I've been involved in groups like this too. It doesn't matter what people think about you, and that's the message that Cano Smith has spread to his group, because all that matters is what you believe. And sure, like, there are going to be tendencies that you want to get rid of, right? Rhode Island's inability to beat, from a statistical standpoint, in top 8, top 4, however you look at, good teams. Couldn't do it all year long. Now all of a sudden, they've won 2 in a row, right? You want to be able to get away from those statistics because it means you're playing better. But as long as that brotherhood in the locker room stays strong, that's all that matters. And it's the strongest it's been at the right time of year. So, is it been the prettiest of football? Absolutely not. I thought their game against Charleston was much better, considering what they had to deal with tactically and how they responded. But they still found a way to win. And I'm never going to take that away from them. No one can. It doesn't matter if you do it pretty or not. They're still here. Mind you, they're matched up against a team that could make its way to a USL Championship final without ever scoring a goal in the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. But we'll get to that. But credit to Cano Smith and Rhode Island, because although he's always going to want more, and I do respect him for that, about how he challenges his team, we may not agree tactically on things. He always pushes to get the best out of them. And that belief is why they're here once again.
Yeah. And if you're a fan of Rhode Island, you should watch the full 2 minutes of that, not the 12-second snippet that lands on X. Let's say that. Pittsburgh, Detroit. You want to talk about, like, blue-collar, knockdown, drag-out, stone fight. I mean, this was it. 0-0. Pittsburgh was the aggressor. Nearly 60% of the ball, 19 shots. They only put 3 on target. Augie Williams, headed effort, eventually brought back. Jockeson hit the post in extra time. Pittsburgh ends up winning the shootout, although Detroit actually led after 2 rounds. Amu Mensah and Ryan Williams unable to convert. Pittsburgh may never score. They may never have to. I give Detroit an immense amount of credit, man. For one, Northern Guard, keep my name out of your mouth.
Oh.
I was not even calling this game. If you're in, and you don't go on and say, like, oh, but we corrected ourselves. Yeah, delete the tweet, dude. You didn't respond to that tweet about Jasil Cedeno being a known diver or whatever. 1, I'd never say that. 2, I don't believe that. And 3, bro, I'm not even calling the game.
Oh, they were talking about an announcer on the game.
Yeah.
Got it.
I know it seems like I call every game in 3 leagues at the same time. But no. So, like, guys, relax. Have I not been kind enough about your team, particularly in the Louisville game the week prior? Really? Really? More importantly, to go 90 minutes there, to go 120 against Pittsburgh. These are 2 of the 3, I would argue, toughest teams to beat in the championship. Maybe 2 of the top 5. And you took Pittsburgh to the edge at their place in front of a sellout crowd, and you beat the best regular season team of all time. Hell of an effort.
Struggled on the night in the presence of Jasil Cedeno. Thought Kobe Hernandez-Foster did a good job once he came on. Never really gave them. It's funny you talk about Jasil. It just never felt like he had the link-up play or when the space did open up for them. And I was very impressed by how aggressive Pittsburgh played this game up high. They've carried possession pretty well. They moved the ball cleanly. The Riverhounds did. But there was space to be had, and they just never adequately stepped into it. You know, Atez Juve, let him fly. Like, I make the same sort of argument for Darren Smith. Like, let's go. What are we doing? Can they combo play? Yeah, for sure. But to me, the biggest takeaway I got was within all the rotation in the midfield, Rob Vincent has definitely give this Hounds team more of the freedom to go and explore the game. I think people at home think, oh, why speak in generics? Well, because for a Bob Lilly team, it's usually really rigid in nature. So, for instance, if you go back and watch a lot of the games under the tutelage of Bob Lilly, when they pick up possession mid to low, Mike, a lot of times Bob Lilly will try and release one side. That's not saying you have to go one way or the other, but that's saying that if the right-sided wingback goes, a lot of times they will restrict the left to create balance defensively and also weak side coverage in the midfield. Rob Vincent, like, let's go, baby. Let's fly. And that doesn't mean they're bombing up and down the width. That means you can go and chase the game. You can step up high here. So when I talk about the high level of possession, for Bob Lilly, the Hounds are doing that mid to low, 30, 40 yards from goal. And, yeah, there's a long ball up over the top, and then they reset defensively and they press you. Rob Vincent's games have been more mid to high, where midfield is the starting point in possession. And if they're transitional, they'll send more players. Yes, it exposes them more defensively, but all the more impressive that they've been able to keep clean sheets. The goals haven't been there. But chance creation and identity attacking-wise, it makes me wonder what this would look like if the runway was longer. Understanding we have at best 2 more games, a minimum 90 minutes. But I've liked what I've seen out of the Riverhounds. I still don't understand the front line and the attack and what we get. Robbie Mertz whips great balls into the box. They don't finish their chances. Augie Williams has some runs where I'm going, why are you not playing him in? And why are we taking an extra touch or 3 extra passes to get somewhere? And there are other runs where you can just tell that he and the front line are on different pages. Either way, Pittsburgh deserved to be here, as did Rhode Island. And I tip my cap to every single player and person on the sideline for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, because although publicly no more information has come out about the Bob Lilly situation, Mike, you're still changing somewhat of a style of play coming into postseason time when it hasn't exactly been all roses and perfume throughout the year, and you're finding success, man. Like, that's awesome. You know, and success come postseason time that you and I both know, it's been difficult for the Hounds over the years. Tail end of the season hasn't been a problem. Results over the 30, 34 game year hasn't been a problem. Now they're in a conference final. I tip the hat, man.
Yep, for the first time. So, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time Saturday, ESPN Plus in Pittsburgh. They are going to sell this thing out. Rhode Island, look, they finished under 500 for the year, but only 1 loss since September 6th. That North Carolina game was the only win that they have in that span against a team that made the playoffs. Doesn't matter. They're here. Pittsburgh, since Bob Lilly was put on leave, 5 unbeaten, 2 wins, 3 draws. Of course, they advance in 2 of those draws. 334 minutes since a goal was scored by either team in a Riverhound game, which is insanity, but on brand. 442 minutes since they have conceded, 4th longest in club history. To the Rhode Island fans, I understand you're frustrated about lack of supporter tickets. The stadium only holds 6,200 people. It's half the size of Centerville Bank Stadium, okay? There's not that many tickets to give out. So, in and of itself, that's its own issue, guys. Add?
I'd like to add 2 things at the end, if I may, Mr. White, but I will let you finish first, please.
Okay. Is that because there's a meme coming up that I have in here?
Oh.
Mr. White. Okay, that's why I did. I know. All right, later. That's for the other game. Pittsburgh did sweep the series 1-0 in Pawtucket. That was in May. It was right after the Open Cup loss to Philly. 2-0 at Highmark in August. J.J. Williams actually got sent off in that game. Pittsburgh leads the all-time series 3-0-1. Rhode Island obviously second, conference final in 2 years. Rip it.
The two things I would like to add. Number one, totally understand the frustration by fans based upon ticket allocation. You want more tickets, win more regular season games. You get to host come postseason time. Sorry, that's as simple as it comes. There's always a way to find tickets, and that's not a shot at Rhode Island. That's a conversation for any single team in any postseason. There's always a way to find tickets. Trust me. It's hard. You may have to pay more money. There's always a way to find tickets. I never, ever, ever do this, talking about a preview of a game, Mike. So I'm just going to give you one quick shout as to what the most important thing in this game is. Steel Army. You are the most important person, player, thing within this game. Physically, the teams nullify each other. The bench and options that you have, I would give a slight advantage to Rhode Island, but still believe that Pittsburgh is right there based upon the way that they play and the identity of the team that you want to express and the changes that you could make. Attacking, defensive, both very similar in nature. Statistically, it tells you the same story. The difference maker is the home fans in the Steel Army, who at their best are one of their best in the league. And if you want to break the belief of Rhode Island FC, you have to bring it better than you've ever brought it before, because the mental capacity of the visitors that are about to step in is top quality.
All right. Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern Conference Final, Pittsburgh and Rhode Island. Out west, why Luke and Lukic have something in common, and why New Mexico just simply will not go away at the end of games. Tulsa and New Mexico will play in the West Final. We'll get you ready for it after this.
Giving insight to all the biggest moments in Championship and League One. This is USL All Access on Sirius XM FC with Mike Watts and Devon Kerr.
We're back on USL All Access, looking at the Western Conference Final. It'll be on Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Home to the former Roughnecks, now FC Tulsa. Let's talk about their conference semi first. It did go to extra time. I think you and I both felt Phoenix had a real shot at this. Stefan Lukic, set piece, 120+2. Latest playoff winner in the history of the championship. Of the other 6 on a 7-player list, 4 went to the final, 3 went on to win it. There were 2 shots on target in 120 minutes. 122, as it may be. Out of 24 total efforts. That's it. There was not a lot in this game. It is the 6th time this year that Lukic subbed on and scored a winner or an equalizer. He's the 16th player in league history to have multiple game winners in a single postseason. His coach did that too, Luke Spencer. There were 58 fouls in this game, a record for any game in league history, passing Charleston, Rhode Island's October bloodbath last year. 8,000 in attendance nearly. That's a club record. And Dev, I said the meme in the last segment. I'm thinking of Jesse in Breaking Bad going, he can't keep getting away with this, Mr. White.
The voice crack. He's got the perfect voice crack in that. But
Dude,
they do.
Tulsa just keeps doing it. Yeah. And you know what? Some of this is fairy dust. Some of this is just like they know exactly who they are. Yeah. They're going to keep this thing tight, and then they're going to punch you straight in the face at the end of the game.
A couple of stats that I want to throw in here, because one of which originated from you, Mr. Watts. See what I did there? Yeah. All right. So the first one is I want to go back to the fouls. You mentioned 58 fouls, and the minutes within the game. If you include injury time, there were 133 minutes and 15 seconds played in this game.
No.
Yeah. Hang on, there's more.
And the ball was in play for how long?
With the 58 fouls in the match. That I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud. The 58 fouls were more than the actual minutes that the ball was in play. Per Opta, stats provider for USL. 55 minutes and 37 seconds.
Dude, that's a baseball game.
That's
a football game.
And just so that we're clear, I don't put this all on the two teams, but this was a very difficult game to watch. Because in your mind, when you think, wow, 58 fouls seems like a lot, it's because it freaking is.
A normal game might have 20 to 25.
Yeah, I'd be curious what the average in USL Championship play is on the year, understanding that an anomaly like this is going to move the number one way unnecessarily, but I'm probably with you. 25 seems fair. We've more than doubled that. Quick maths, 58 fouls times 2 is 106. And the reason I break that up is there's only 90 minutes of the game. So you're getting a foul
inside every 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'd probably go around a minute and a half.
It was a 120-minute game with extra time. So, yeah, I mean, it's a foul every, 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Oh, my goodness. The ref was frustrating with the challenges that were being presented, both fair and foul, pun intended. It was a difficult game to watch. Again, attacking-wise, I have a fear that I'm going to share on another show that people can bookmark here, but just letting you know that when we talk about the development of players and making them better and competing, there's a path here that I think we're going down that I'm very scared to admit, but it needs more time than we can present during this show. Never really saw anything from the midfield from this game. Again, that's just the way that the game played out. I texted Joe Malfa and Tyler Terrens during watching the game back, and I said, watching this Phoenix Tulsa game, and I sent them the Christopher Walken character from Balls of Fury, the ping pong master, if you will. And it was back and forth and long ball and 50-50. And challenge and tackle and foul and card. And by the way, with as many hard tackles as there was just as many ticky-tacky things where you guys got toughened up a little bit, man. Dear Lord, oh my God, stop whining. Get up and play. There were some tackles I was like, man, that's a big boy tackle. And then I turned around and I was like, my 5-year-old just breathed on you and you fell down. Credit to Phoenix. They've had a year, and then I'll get out of here. They've had a year. They've hung right in there. They're young. They've got grit. They've got a coach for now. I don't say that as in I know something. I say it as in he's obviously talented, and anybody could poach him at any time, given his resume. And for Luke and his team, the run goes on. I said before postseason play, I think it was late September, early October, I didn't think they could sustain it. I'm not going to say that they can, but to your point, they're not changing. So they're riding with it. Let's see what happens.
New Mexico and Orange County was the 3-7 game. Hurst hit the bar at 49, but then scored the rebound. Give him 26 all comps for New Mexico. That's second most in club history. Malik Pinto scores in the 68th off a corner. And then Dayon Harris, long ball down the channel to Valentin Noel, puts it into Harris at the corner of the box. That's a monster hit. The way he put it is perfect. I blacked out after I scored that goal.
11, the Iron Brew he had in his locker from Neil Collins and the Rowdies back in the day.
Yeah, 11,000 at the lab. Look, kudos to Orange County. They went to Sacramento and got the job done, right? They felt like for the second straight year, they got into the playoffs right at the end, and they were a team to be reckoned with. And New Mexico struggled with them all the way. But you went out and you invested to get Dennis Sanchez. That was not easy to yank him out of Las Vegas. He's done a good job. Noel came in midseason. They felt they've had to tinker, rejigger this thing for the last 4 months. And here they are in their first ever conference final, Dev.
It's not the fact that they went and got Dennis Sanchez because he's a big name. It's the fact that if you're Peter Trevisani and you're the front office, because there's a lot that I respect, so I apologize that I'm only naming the owner. You did such a good job vetting a coach that was capable of taking a system similar in nature stylistically to what Eric Quill had already put together and blending it into what you're seeing as your first Western Conference title game. This was my favorite game of the round. It was my favorite game of the playoffs so far. And it wasn't because there were 3 goals. The tactical ability that Orange County has shown me as the year has gone on, I give Danny Stone a lot of credit. I felt bad for him in this game, recognizing that it was a mistake by Chris Hagard against Sacramento that got him into this spot with his suspension. Tristan Traeger got yanked at, I think it was halftime. Didn't even know he was on the pitch in the first half, and they struggled with the absence of Haggard in the midfield. Usman Silla is coming into his own as a player. He did great in chance creation. He's a liability a bit still defensively. Haggard would have covered that ground for you and still given you the presence on the width, so they lack balance, and they had to chase a ton. The chasing a ton is no surprise against New Mexico United because they make you work for every single blade of grass. And I'll tell you about that in a second, because I'm a little surprised that Orange County didn't sit a little bit more and make New Mexico beat them with the ball off the back line. I'll get that in the preview in the Western Conference Final. I'll finish it with the re-addition of Greg Hurst in this team has been monumental because of the role that he plays, how much he drags on that back line against the opposition, the space that he opens up on the width because he gets players to come with him, how comfortable he is in the pocket, letting players out of the midfield release. And the goal that they scored for the game winner, I'm with you. It's an unreal strike by Dayon Harris. But the ball off Gideon Zalalam's foot is perfect. It can be put nowhere else, hit no harder or no softer. And the velvet touch that only Valentin Noel could present to us in the moment, as smooth as you could be, as calm as he could be, with just seconds remaining on the clock, to slice and dice and weave this web of tapestries that was culminating in the setup for Dayon Harris. It was an incredible goal. And it all came down to them being more aggressive once again, because earlier this year, they wouldn't ping a ball like that, and they wouldn't advance runners, and they wouldn't have scored that goal. Hats off to them.
All right, we got to be quick here. Tulsa, New Mexico. It'll be Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN+. Tulsa one loss since September 6th. New Mexico and Tulsa, first ever Western Conference Final. 5 consecutive clean sheets at home for Tulsa. Third meeting since August 9th. Tulsa won 5-2 at One Oak, and then New Mexico actually led that game 2-1 at the half. Tulsa won 1-0 September 13th at the Lab with a 90+3 own goal game winner. They're split all time. Tulsa unbeaten the last 2 years. Thoughts?
The last time New Mexico United was shut out against Tulsa, they have one loss outside of the top 4 this year. They're a difficult team to beat. I get it. New Mexico United is going to be aggressive with the ball. Tulsa is going to be aggressive and try and disrupt the momentum physically. I want Tulsa to sit, and I'm going to get to your stat right now. The reason I want Tulsa to sit is twofold. Number one, you need to make Kalen Ryden and Kip Keller play off that back line. Talon Maples and whomever is playing at the left back position, Gloucester or Jalen Lindsay, they're good with the ball at their feet. They're not great, but force the center backs to be great. If you make them beat you, you can sit and hold defensively in front of you. Tulsa is great as that. What's New Mexico United is great at, Mike, is they lure you out of your shell. By not stepping up into that space with the center back of the ball at their feet, you allow the midfield to come. They drag space with you. That creates opportunity, more movement for players in behind. That's where New Mexico United get you. And here's the stat. Mike brought it up on our show on September 24th. I added the numbers because Mike sparked this flame back in my mind. Tulsa, when they have possession, when they win the game possessionally within a match, they're 3-4-3. When they drop possession on the year, they are 13-1-8. They don't need the ball, Mike. You said it. Their identity, they know what they're made of, late game heroics or not. Keep this game in front of you and make New Mexico United challenge you on every single piece of grass available.
All right, we will wrap up expectations for the conference finals on the other side of the break here on USL All Access.
You're listening to USL All Access on Sirius XM FC. Here are your hosts, Mike Watts and Devon Kerr.
Welcome back, everybody. USL All Access, missing a part of the show, available tomorrow on the still all new Sirius XM app. It's also on the USL YouTube page. Devin, we know our conference finalists now. It'll be 6:30 Eastern on Saturday for the East. It's going to be Pittsburgh and Rhode Island from Highmark. And then out west, 2 hours later, kickoff on ESPN Plus as well, Tulsa and New Mexico. For the neutral that's going to tune in November 22nd on CBS, the best final at noon Eastern that we can provide is what? I'm going to go Rhode Island and New Mexico.
Tactically, yeah.
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 Knockdown, drag out.
Final.
Yeah, MMA fight. Tulsa, Pittsburgh. Tactical nuance, it's unfortunately probably going to be Rhode Island and New Mexico.
The problem is, I agree with you. The only thing I would say about the Rhode Island-New Mexico game is that Rhode Island, again, going back to their identity, Rhode Island, one of the best teams in the league about disrupting their opponent. So throwing New Mexico United off their game, I would love, selfishly, I want to see some sexy football, so I would love to see two teams put the ball on the deck and play.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get that.
No.
We're going to get a title winner, though, at least in the West and East this weekend.
Darn right. Dev, did you learn anything in this show?
I learned that you successfully, even with a child, who knew, are more than capable of taking care of the cat without me.
Yeah, that's
How about
catnip is the catnip is.
All jokes aside, I learned that, in fact, that's the stat that you brought up, man, about Tulsa. It's not often, respectfully, that someone presents a stat to me and I go, oh, I missed that, or oh, that's good. I learned that it's been a while since I opened my eyes and ears, and I appreciate you presenting us with that stat.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Even though I updated it.
I learned a lot about your balls. A lot. So much. Yeah. All right. Yeah. For Devin, Emmett, Mike, we'll talk to you again next Tuesday night ahead of the final here on USL All Access. Enjoy the games, everybody.
This is USL All Access. If you missed any portion of the program, listen back anytime on the SXM app.